The Paws in the Park Couch to 5K training program brought to you by Roper St. Francis Healthcare.
I am here to talk to Kim Bryant about obstacles that you may encounter when running your 5K. So in training, we know that there might be soreness, there might be discomfort. So we have some things that we might worry about. Soreness, blisters, uncomfortable clothing. So tell me, have you experienced those things before?
Of course.
You haven't ran a 5K if you haven't.
Soreness is the main one. Not hydrating enough, I think, is part of it.
Absolutely. Well, a big key to preventing soreness and also dealing with soreness is sort of the preparation, which we will talk about in other segments, and also things to do to treat it. So a really good rule of thumb is to do a proper warm-up and a proper cool down, but also when you're experiencing it and you go, today's a running day, I'm sore, I don't feel like doing it. You can heat before, and whether that means a hot pack or that means a hot shower or that means riding the bike first, getting your muscles warm before is going to help with the soreness during the run. And believe it or not, you will feel better afterward. Get out there and do it if you're feeling that soreness. Afterward, you can always ice, which is a great way to remedy and recover. Now, that could be an ice bath, that could be ice packs, anything that you can think of. Now, when we're talking about soreness, we're also talking about an injury. Let's say you're running and you sprain your ankle. What are we going to do? So we focus on our basic RICE technique that a lot of people know, rest, ice, compression, elevate. Injuries, reach out if you have some issues with this, but if you have an injury while you're running, make sure you pay attention to it and take care of it, but those things are going to happen on the run. Hopefully, if we prepare enough, soreness will be our only issue. Now, Kim, has foot care been an issue for you? Is that something you worry about?
Well, occasional blisters maybe from walking.
Right. Well, with running and walking and preparing for the 5K, for sure that's something that's very common. So have you treated blisters before?
I have not.
So the one thing to think about that may sound like common sense is to get specific bandages that are for blisters only, with the center cut out. It's generally a padding around it, even if it's not just the heel and it's on the foot. It's a way to sort of take the pressure off it, but still be able to get your training in.
So how do I know if I've overdone it?
To know if you've overdone it is really hard to tell, and I know that's a common question a lot of people have. I think there's a big difference between being sore and being in pain. So if you've experienced that before, you know that you wake up and you feel like you cannot train that day because you are hurting. There's a difference between knowing that you're sore. Have you ever had an injury where it's just one location or general soreness everywhere?
Yes.
That's a perfect example of going, if I'm sore everywhere, it's probably just this muscle discomfort, getting used to the run. But overall, if you're in pain, take the rest day. There's a reason that we will show in other segments how to do sort of a tapering into your run. But if you need the break, take the break and listen to your body. But just know that the discomfort can be there on a 5K preparation. Now to recap, obstacles are normal when you're training for a 5K. So just remember that soreness is a part of it, and just to take the appropriate precautions. Wound care, if you have blisters or other issues, treat them with appropriate bandages that you can get at any local store. And also just remember, keep on track, listen to your body, but that the obstacles can be there. You can see more of these resources at paws.charlestonanimalsociety.org. We'll see you on March 19th at Celebrity Paws in the Park. Good luck!
The Paws in the Park Couch to 5K training program brought to you by Roper St. Francis Healthcare.